Oh, I think this is the fastest everyone has joined. Already up to almost, I already have 30 people, and I think 35 people RSVP'd at least. I don't know if RSVP is the right word, but well, guys, welcome to week one of the side street so long. Give everyone like a couple more minutes, but also I'm just
We
gonna
were also
prepare
waiting
my
on Ashley.
yes, also waiting on Ashlyn.
She said that she's running up to her computer as we speak.
Okay, cool. I can share my screen already, I guess. The scariest moment of all. I just fear one day I'm going to share the pattern. Okay. Hey guys, this call is recorded, but future calls, oh my God, my light just started twitching. Future calls where we're just hanging out and just talking, and it's just a lot more, sorry, my light is flickering. I'm going to turn that off. Um, we're going to only be recording like information tutorial style things in the future. So, but first week is always recorded, so people that miss it will be able to access it. Um, I hope this doesn't have any like joining issues.
Um,
We can go ahead and introduce like ourselves and stuff.
well, it starts with an introduction on her.
Oh, I think she is coming from a workshop that she was teaching in Portland, Oregon. So I think she's been in a workshop all day, but trying to make it for this call. So just give her a minute. Is anyone part of the Portland Guild and got to see her? Um, I'm assuming she probably did a trunk show with it as well. Any Portland people?
I live in Portland, but I am not part of the guild.
Oh,
I
got
need
it.
to fix that.
I'm part of the Modern Quilt Guild, but I don't think she was part of
Oh,
the PMQG.
oh, it wasn't your. I was just assuming, Stephanie, that it was your guild.
I don't think so. We just had
Hmm.
Liz Elliott here in January and her workshop, and then we don't have any
Hmm.
until um, February.
I think it is Portland that she was. Yeah, maybe it was a different guild, or maybe it wasn't even a guild at all. Honestly, she just said she was in a work doing a workshop in Portland, and I
That's cool.
immediately,
I
yeah,
missed that. I wish I knew that, but
yeah. Well, I see some familiar names, faces. We take a minute to, if you guys want to put your hand up. If you can virtually put your hand up too. I think you can like. I don't know how to do that on Zoom, but I think you can virtually put your hand up if you're new to Toad Circle and this is your first follow along ever with us. Um, yeah, I see some new faces. Appreciate the cameras on, love it. virtual hands. Yay. So many new people. Oh my God. Mm, exciting. Okay, well, Olivia, let's just go ahead and introduce ourselves first, and then we'll hopefully she'll join
Alrighty.
momentarily. Okay, my name is Taylor, and I'm the owner of Toad and Sew and Toad Circle. And if you don't know that already, and yeah, I guess a little bit about me. I live in Seattle, Washington, with my husband and our two dogs. We've been in Seattle for about, I don't know, since 2019. I was going to say like 5 years, but I guess that is way more than 5 years now. And yeah, my favorite genre to read, I read kind of all genres, but I like romantasy, I like fantasy. Um, I pretty much read every genre besides nonfiction books. You will rarely catch me reading a nonfiction book. I read to escape, so that's kind of my yeah, my whatever. Um, and what else? I don't even know what else I should say. I don't know.
Kind of
That's kind of
hobbies do you
it.
have other than
Hobbies,
reading?
reading.
You obviously quilt.
Yeah, I quilt, which is no longer really a hobby. It's more my job. Um, yeah, I do a lot of like hiking, camping, outdoors stuff. Not like an extreme outdoors person, but dabble in it. And yeah, I don't know. I've been really into watching Heat of Rivalry, so that's kind of been my current TV show. And yeah, that's just been busy with work. So, all right, Olivia, you take it off. Olivia is my assistant of many years, so
Hello. I actually went back and looked at it yesterday, and it has been this year in May, it will be 4 years.
wow.
So long time.
Yes.
Hello, I am Olivia. I am Taylor's assistant. I do a lot of the computer stuff with like emails, helping with Discord, things like that. I am in Colorado. I have a dog and two cats. I have a cat sitting literally right here, but it's blurred out so you can't see her. um, and I enjoy reading horror books, like psychological thrillers, um, sci-fi, things like that. I am not a fan of fan or I guess romantasy. I tried it. I don't think it's for me, but it's okay. I can talk about all the dark stuff that people are probably too afraid to bring up that they like. Um, I am a quilter. I like making bags as well. Um, so my favorite bag pattern person is Noodlehead. Um, Everything that she makes, I feel like, is super easy to follow. So if you're looking for a bag pattern for for anything, I feel like she has a little bit of everything. Check out Noodlehead. Um,
Yeah, I got like
I
a full kit from Noodlehead for my mom for Christmas.
mm, yeah, the when I went to QuiltCon last year, I picked up two or three bag kits from the Sotopia booth, and they were all Noodlehead, all fantastic. Um, I like playing video games. I am kind of on another Minecraft kick right now. If anyone plays Minecraft, you'll know that they come in waves and it's about a 2 week stint every single time. Um, and
The Sims
yeah,
community can attest to that as well.
yeah, basically the same as The Sims. I used to play The Sims a lot too.
I don't play The
Um,
Sims, but I get Sims content on my Instagram, and I love like people making. I don't. I. It's just very
I like
fascinating.
the
It
videos of like recreating someone's house in The
Yes.
Sims
No, you
and
don't
everything.
understand. When I was in like high school, no, maybe yeah, like high school, and like YouTube was not the place it really is now. It was just like people recreating like music videos to like the weirdest bands in The Sims, and I would just like stumble across them every now and then. I'd be like, we don't play the same. We don't play the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm nerdy. I play video games. I read sci-fi sometimes. I sit at my computer about 24/7. And that's kind of all I do. That's me. And now we have Ashlyn, so we can go back and
Okay.
introduce Ashlyn, our guest designer of this round's Toad Circle Mystery Quilt Solo.
Welcome, Ashlyn. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
great.
gonna spotlight you.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey guys. I'm Ashlyn of Urban Dwell Studio. Sorry I hopped on just a few minutes late. I am in Salem, Oregon,
Oh,
teaching
Salem.
at a guild right now. And it just ended, so I rushed over and it was a great day, super fun. I have several patterns with more on the way. I live in Salt Lake City and, well, just north of Salt Lake City, and have a lot of kids, but not in the Utah way, if you know what I mean. Um, just happen to live in Utah with a lot of kids. Um, yeah, that's about it. I love designing based on architecture and just modern city planning and old city planning, and I just love like transportation type terms, and that's where I draw a lot of my inspiration. I'm very into street art and regular art, but particularly like graffiti and things that maybe shouldn't be where they are, and that's kind of how I feel a lot of the times.
It's beautiful. Okay. All right, shall we get started? The beginning of this call is going to be a lot of kind of housekeeping and some like new member orientation. So if you're have been a member for a while, this might be redundant and you might just want to like tune out for a bit mentally. Um,
You
or
can
just refresh
sew
your
a
memory.
little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just going to be some new member orientation. If you have any questions, you can add them into the chat. You can raise your hand, speak up. Yeah, we're here to answer your questions and go for it. Okay, yeah, like I just okay, first thing first is the member area, which is slightly different if you were a member in the past, stop being a member and then are back. This is just a little bit different. Or if you're a new member, the on my website it'll say member area on the top right. If you're on mobile, you do have to click on the three little lines and then you'll see member area. You do have to be logged in to access this area, and then once you're on in the member area, um, everything you could possibly need for the so long is in the member area. So like any like the voting link, the link to the pattern, links to discount, like everything possible. We try to keep Discord more of like a community. Things can get lost pretty easily in Discord, just the way that the nature of Discord. So if you're ever looking for something and it's not in your portal, ask us because it might need to be added or it should be there, or you might just not have seen it. So that's kind of where your member area. This is kind of, I would say, like the North Star of, you know, everything you need about the circle, essentially. So that's just a little bit. I'm assuming that you guys have all been to your member area because you joined Discord, which you need to access the member area to join Discord. So if you haven't joined that, then I don't know how you're here, but that's cool. You might need to access that at a later point. So yeah, you just need to log in and then you'll go to the member area. So yeah, any questions about that? Any questions about the change? It was just, it used to be different portals per tier that you were in. which was a lot more extra work on our end for no reason. So just combine it all into one place. Okay, and then so the one way you can get the pattern is through this link right here where it says download. Right now it says download week 1, but every week we will update it to say download week 2, 3, so on. It is the same link throughout the entire sew along. So you don't technically need to go back to your portal every single week. You can bookmark the link and just refresh. Or on page 2, there is a QR code and a link that it should be interactive that you can click on to get that updated week. You might need to clear your caches or your cookies if you're not seeing the updated week. So if you're not seeing it, try clearing your caches, cookies, and then if you're not seeing it in still, we could be late. But usually we try to do it by 9 a.m. on Tuesday mornings Pacific time. So that's, I know, later for East Coast people, but
I
that's what
will
we
say
aim for.
the new member area with that update, I'm also adding the actual PDF to the member area for those that often struggle with getting the link to refresh.
Okay.
So that way, it's just kind of if all else fails, you go back to the member area and you'll have
Yeah.
like the actual PDF and not a link that is just not refreshing for you.
Yeah. So you can always just re-download and then print those couple pages if you're a print person. So yeah. And we have recently redesigned the PDFs, so they might look a little bit different. Same general information and everything, but it just might be this like circling is like making me just yeah, it just looks a little different. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, let us know. Okay, I'm going to go through Discord in a nutshell. Kind of go through like the main, like if you're new to Discord completely. So I'm going to go through it as if you're a toadlet just to make sure you don't see any cheater stuff. Love the newbie. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. And then okay. Okay. So when you join, it'll throw you into this welcome new member chat. It's just basically like a little dumping ground for when you join and get a little wave, people say hi. This is a good one to eventually turn off notifications, but really only people are joining during the first week, so it stops being like really active after the first week. So nothing to worry about. So the way Discord works is we got all of the channels on the left side here, and then they have different categories. So I'll kind of just walk you through different categories. One of the major changes we have done starting as of yesterday is that a lot of our extra channels or off-topic channels are now opt-in channels, and this is just to kind of eliminate the large list of channels that we have on the left side if you don't necessarily want to see all of them. So if you want to see all of the channels possible, you can go to up here on the top little section here. We have channels and roles. So this is like if you're into D&D or gaming, you can click that you want to see these specific channels. Like if you're going to QuillCon, you want to see the QuillCon channel. Not everyone needs to see that, so that's why we're doing this way. So, and then yeah, if you also want to see like the previous so long, so if you want to see Harvest Bloom, then you just click that and you'll see all the previous Harvest Bloom. chats and channels and everything of that nature. So that is totally new. If you didn't get that memo, you might notice that some of your channels are missing on the left side now. So that's where you go to get re-added into those. Does anyone have any questions about this? I know this is kind of a big change, but I'm hoping for the better, to not overwhelm, especially new people that are joining.
So
I'll
is
just
there
keep
a way to like just have the current so along like on the top? I don't know. Maybe that's not.
on the top, you said?
Yeah, I don't know. I go through it on my app and like I have to like scroll down and scroll down. I'm wondering if it's possible for like it to be at the top what's like current, which is the so along, right?
I just
I
moved it
can
up
move this.
to,
Okay, I was gonna say I can just move it up.
yeah,
Oh,
I moved it up to right under the front porch. So it's like the
okay.
important stuff, introducing yourself, so on.
I would say you could
Sorry.
even move it up one more to over above front porch, I think.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
just
a
a
no,
suggestion.
that's a
I
good
don't
no.
want
Yeah, because
to
I
be such
mean,
a
I'm like,
rebel.
no, no, okay. No, yeah, we want. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'll let you figure that out. Yeah. So, the welcome, it just kind of goes through rules and info, and then changing your name, which everyone has done, which is great. Channel tour, we will eventually get rid of this because now Discord has made it up here, so you can go see all the channels. And this area, you can go and follow the entire category, or you can manually check just what you want to see. So really, if you only want to see, the just the so long, you can uncheck all of this and just see like this channel and get rid of everything else. So you can really cater Discord to what you want it to be. But being an admin, I obviously have to follow every single channel, just to make sure I know what's going on. So that's a great way to kind of customize what you see. You can also go in and every single different channel, you can right click and change the notifications on that channel. So if you only want, I would say like bulletin board's a good one to have all notifications turned on, because that is where anything that's important that's happening, like every week we send an update about like everything that's happening this week. I did send an update about the opt-in channels, the Zoom meeting link. That's just kind of like what the name is, bulletin board. So I would have notifications turned on potentially for that one. But all other ones, if you don't want notifications, you can either have only at mentions, so someone has to actually at mention you to get a notification sent to your phone or online, or you can just do nothing. Whatever you see a fit, however you want to receive notifications. So that's just a little bit on customizing Discord for you. Um, Support is a place to ask any questions. So that's a good place that you probably get a response faster than email. Whether it's another Toad Circle member that's been around for a bit or knows how to answer your question quickly, or a mod, someone will answer you fairly quickly in the support channel. So anything related to Toad Circle, whether it's tech support, if you have like a technical issue about your account and stuff like that, sometimes it's easier to do email because we might have to ask you to email anyways for that, but all other things are great for the support. Suggestion box, exactly what it sounds like, any suggestion you have. So along tabs, this is the tab where everything so along related will be in here. So we're going to do a block of the off month. So boom, block of the off month. That's going to start at the end of this so long. So more information to come on that. I just wanted to get that ready. But everything side street related is going to be in the side street forum. So we have every week we will make a new little thread, I guess thread, I don't know, what would you call it, channel, within this, and yeah, and it'll have that week's stuff. So if you're behind and you like still want help on week one stuff, you can go ahead and post in week one and people will still help you about picking fabric and stuff. But the people that have moved on to week two can start posting their progress and asking for help or whatever in that week two post. If you have it turned on that you can see the past so longs, you would see Harvest Bloom here and you would see the exact same thing. And then a lot of people will post their finished Harvest Bloom or their finished so longs during in that channel. So it's good to see if you want to make like the last one, even though you didn't participate in the so long, but you still want to make it. It's sometimes nice to just see, everyone get inspiration from everyone's color and fabric and all that. And the welcome week is just kind of a general side street question. So anything that you have that's not like necessarily related to that week, but you have a question about the so long in general, or just anything really, you can talk in the general like welcome week one. Okay. And then we move to front porch. So front porch is just a cutesy way of like kind of meeting, like a virtual meeting ground for Toad Circle members. So we have introductions, and then like follow on social media, your locations, and this is a good way to find other people that are maybe local to you. And then Toad's Animal Friends, which is just everyone's pets or cute animals that they, want to share with the group. One of my favorite threads. Okay. Sorry if I'm moving through this quickly. General is pretty much anything that doesn't really fit like it fits in a specific other channel. Yeah, really, if there's something that's in general that we feel like should be in a different channel, we'll let you know. But most of the time, general is just what it is. It can be sewing, it could be whatever you want it to be. So yeah. Totem sew patterns, that's if you make one of my patterns or want feedback on one of my patterns that's not Toad Circle related, then that's where that goes. So that's just like a giant thread of anything related to Toad sew patterns. Fabric advice, we say fabric advice, but it can also be quilting advice. It's kind of just like general feedback that you want. Like if you're like, so they're talking about different color swatches here. Or some things like I need help picking out a backing fabric for this quilt that I'm working on. That's a good place to put that. And then past toad circle patterns is similar to toad and sew patterns, like any like thing you want to post or share about like a past so long that we've done. Whether it was like 5 ago, 10 ago, or like 2 ago, this is a place to do it. And then we jump into our book club portion. So book talk is just imagine the general chat, but only book related. So this is like, just chatting general book talk. Book talk, And then we go into our so long books. So once we have the winner, all the votes are in for this so long, we'll create a new thread that's specific just to this so longs book. And then that's where you will go to talk about the book. And then we do recommend if you have any spoilers, using the spoilers. You can type it by doing 2 straight lines, spoiler, and surrounding it by 2 straight lines on either end, and then it'll pop up gray. And then so if someone doesn't want the spoiler, they just have to click on that gray box to see what it is. I'm a sucker. Every time I see a gray box, I'm like, I need to know what it says. I don't care. I just, but it's really helpful. And like maybe if you know where you're at, like oh, page 100 or 50% through, that way people can kind of gauge whether they should click on the spoiler or not. And then book reviews is kind of like your Goodreads or your Fable or whatever you use. I like to just use it to see if anyone else has read the same book or chat about it. So if you want to talk with anyone that specifically about a book, then you can go and search in here and see if anyone else has read it or rated it, and then you guys can chat about it, or you can just post your reviews. So I feel like we got a bunch in there. So. Okay, and then off topic, we have right now it's just a feel good feed, but if you join we have the rage room in there, and then we have the pickle support group as well. Pickle support group has just been around since I think the very first or second so long. I don't know, maybe not that early, but it's just everyone was obsessed with the Kona color pickle, and they made a group about the pickle support group, and now it's just all things pickle related. So it's fun if you like pickles. I don't know, but it's an opt-in channel now, so you have to go up and opt to be in it. And then Craft Corner. So again, a lot of these channels have been opt-in, but this is kind of just general hobbies. So we got crocheting and knitting, bag making, just general sewing help if you need help with like a very specific question or something's going on, maybe like with your machine. We have a garment, bag making, and then I like some other random things like gardening and I like stationery planners, but and then we also have a craft supply swap, which is new. And yeah, if you guys have anything that you want to get rid of, or want to, I don't know, have it move on to a different home that might use it more than you're using it, you can post that in there. So I think that's it for Discord. Yeah, any questions about the new change or anything like that? Any questions about where things are? It's if you feel overwhelmed at first, once you start clicking around, promise you it's not as
Can you show me again where the part is to like click on and off the channels?
yes, so just channels and roll at the very top. So we have server
Okay,
guide, which is, and then we have our events. So everything you can
that's
say you're
perfect.
interested in. And then that has all the Zoom calls for the
Oh,
whole sew
nice.
along. Yeah,
Awesome.
so if you're ever wondering where that is and you don't want to go into your portal, go to the events channel. I mean, events tab. And then channels and roles. So it'll say customize. That's where you can
Oh,
opt
okay,
in.
okay.
And then browse channels is, yeah, where you can unfollow, follow, everything. It also has
Okay.
like a little brief description of everything. So if you are unsure, you can, yeah, check
And
that.
so like I can like click them and then I can always like as I learn I've been on it before, I just don't remember so many channels. So as I like kind of customize what I want to at least start with, I can always go back and like add
Yes, yeah.
or okay.
Yeah, so if you want to just see the so long in the beginning, you're like, I'm too overwhelmed, just want to see the so long. You can literally unclick every category except for that one. And then like if you want to start chatting outside of that
I
and start
got
talking
you.
about TV shows, and
Yeah, yeah.
if you want to join like our unhinged reading channel. So we have all sorts of like other opt-in channels that
Yeah, yeah. No, there's definitely some I want to opt in on. I think what I was having a hard time with was where to ask the questions. I kept getting led to like ask in this channel, this channel. So I think it was just a little confusing and I just have to play
yeah,
around with it. But that's
yeah.
perfect. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, any so long questions, definitely ask in the side sheet so long. Anything that's like general, the support, you can ask anything in support and we can direct you in the right direction too. So, yeah. Okay. This is also I think a new feature with Discord, so I'm super happy they have this now because I feel like this is really helpful. Um,
Because you have all of your channels expanded, can you show them real quick how you collapse them?
Yes, yes. So one thing that I do is I collapse all of my channels like this, and then only channels that are unread that I haven't clicked on will pop up. So Olivia, I'm assuming you posted something in here, so that's why that's popped up here. So I'll click on it and yeah, I'll see that. But then once I like undo it, it should
Yeah, if you go to a different channel, it'll
okay.
disappear.
Yeah. And then so now I can have all these like oh because I have this one. Yeah. So that's just a way to like make it all kind of less overwhelming and everything's collapsed and yeah. Kind of just imagine it's like folders on your desktop or whatever. Um okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Were we any more Discord questions? Feel free to ask away. And Cheater Club stuff has not changed at the moment. So that's all in Toadster General. All you have to do is click on that little like purple devil face to join. And that's how you join the Cheater Club. Um, okay, cool. Book vote. Don't forget to cast your vote for the So Long's book by Monday night. And then Tuesday morning, we will share the winner, make that thread or that new channel. My fire alarm's going off. Can you guys hear that? It's very distracting. Okay, I'm like, it's my okay. Yeah, and this theme is music theme that goes along with the theme of everything else. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about these. I have read Daisy Jones and the Six. Is Daisy Jones? But I definitely reread it if that wins. So you guys can use the QR code now if you haven't done that yet. But okay. Okay, we're trying bingo out just for fun. I don't know. I had this idea that I wanted to make a bingo card for Toad Circle, but so this is in your uh membership portal, and yeah, it's just a fun thing. Some of them are stupid, some of them are fun, but you guys can download it, print it out if you want to actually like put a sticker over each one that you've done. I think right now there's not like a prize or anything, but you will get a badge on Discord with your name like all holographic with like a
Holographic.
little holographic. Thank you.
It just makes your name look really
My husband's
fancy in
laughing in the
Discord.
background. Yeah, it'll make your name really fancy in Discord if you get bingo. So that's what we have right now. Yeah, I gotta print one out so I can start playing. Okay, I already talked about Cheater Club. If you are on the fence about being a cheater or not a cheater, always recommend to wait till after this call before making your final decision. Um, that way, you can kind of like see how we go about picking fabric and all the tips and stuff, and then you can make your decision whether you want to join as a cheater or not.
Can you also talk about the purple names in Discord too?
Oh, yes. So when you join to be a cheater, your name pops up as purple with that little purple devil. I don't know. I guess it's purple devil. Um, so anyone that his name is purple in Discord is part of the cheater club, which means that if you're asking for advice and someone with a purple name suggests something, it means that they have like a secret insight on what that it might like look like. So, yeah, it's just good. There's a lot of cheaters and it's good to um I don't know, might be good to take their advice, but yeah.
If you keep yourself in the mystery element of the so long
Yeah.
and you don't want to become a cheater, then you can at least rely on the fact that there are cheaters in the group and you can always ask them for help if you get stuck with choosing your
Yeah,
fabrics.
yeah. And they're like on it, like they're like making mock-ups of people in the mystery group and then, being like, oh, I don't know, and then giving advice. So, um, yeah,
When
it's
the design is fully revealed towards the end of the so long, we make the Cheater Club channel not private anymore, so everyone can go through and see what everyone has been talking about and sharing this entire time. And so you'll
yeah.
get to see, like, if you scroll back far enough, you'll probably get to see a mock-up of something that you had an idea about
Yeah.
in week one that someone
Yeah.
had mocked up for you.
Yeah. And yeah, lots of people that switch. There's some people that are always cheaters, some people that do mystery half the time. Sometimes people have like a very specific person in mind that they want to make the project for, so they decide to be a cheater for that round. Yeah, I always love seeing, I don't know, that dynamic. Um, okay, now to get into it, I guess, Ashlyn, yeah, if you want to take over, or you don't have to, but if you want to take over and um, talk about side shoot a little bit, and we have some clues. So, yeah,
Without,
Right.
without
because you
giving it
haven't ever
away.
done it, without mentioning
It's
any specific elements in the design. Just want to
all
give that
right.
disclaimer.
Okay, I'll think really hard on it. The clues are pretty spot on, obviously, and I think they'll be the most helpful thing in picking your fabric. I will say the very most helpful thing are those like little color cube mock-ups that were created that are sent out and you can play with your own colors. Seeing how fabrics look when they touch is really helpful. Um, and picking a cohesive overall blend versus picking something kind of wild and then muted. One thing that I really push in my own pattern writing is at the beginning of the pattern, it always says, take into account how the different tones of each fabric look next to each other and make substitutions that kind of equate to those differences. So if your A is, here on that spectrum and B is here on my mock-up or color code, don't take your B over here because there's a reason typically why they're laid out in the way that they are. I think that'll be super helpful to keep in mind for fabrics. Um, Another thing is just don't overthink it because you'll be able to move some things around and get things to look how you want without too much pressure or stress. Hence number two is block based. So they they can be moved. Um, it is super beginner friendly. If you, why are you laughing at me?
No, I'm just
It is super beginner friendly. If you're newer to quilting or haven't quilted in a while, this is a really great skill builder. It will obviously not teach you how to sew because that's a you thing to figure out, but on top of learning to quilt, it will teach you how to do things properly, teach you maybe beyond basic skills that you'll be growing into. And if you have been quilting a long time, it is inspired by really classic quilt design and with a modern twist, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Is
You
that
kind
enough?
of already talked about this, so I don't want to make you have to repeat yourself, but you did say you get inspiration from um architecture and yeah. Um,
Do you want me
okay.
to like talk about why it's called side streets, I guess?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go for it.
Um,
without giving it
Don't-
away.
I yeah, I don't think it gives it away. It is called side streets. Just to like
Yeah.
represent those alleyways. I don't know where everybody grew up, but I grew up in a like small city, but my cousins lived in a small town and there were alleyways between the streets. And that was where all the shenanigans and magic of childhood went down. It was like all the night games and kick the can. It was the shortcut to the Dairy Queen. It was the vibe. So this is very much inspired by the alleyways and street concept.
Love that. Okay. So this is if you want to make, which you will see in the next couple slides, the abstract mock-up that you see in the pattern. If you want to play around with that on your own, um, you can use Prequel. And this is also in the pattern, so you don't need to like write this down. But yeah, go ahead. I actually have never used Prequel on my phone, so there is a QR code, but I can't guarantee it's going to be a really fun experience on the phone. I do not know. So yeah. Okay, and there's also a Canva mockup template. So if you've ever used Canva, it's pretty straightforward and easy. So you can also create your own mockups using Canva as well. So it kind of goes through all of that and how to do it. You basically just click on these boxes and then change the colors. It's very easy. Obviously, these are not going to be actual fabric colors because you're going to just be pulling them from like a giant ink dropper. So it's different in Prequel that way, but if you want to come up with a color scheme and then bring it to a fabric shop and try to find colors that are similar in person, which is my preferred way of picking fabric anyways, because I find digital swatches are typically not super accurate. They usually are a few shades darker digitally than they are in person. Um, so yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to, this is a lot of text. This is in your pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the understanding how the abstract mockup works in general. Because obviously this is a mystery. We cannot share mockups of the actual quilt pattern. So we have made this nifty abstract mockup for you to pick your colors with and kind of use as a guide. So essentially anything touching in this mockup will be potentially or will be touching in the actual quilt pattern. So the only caveat is the accent colors are a little bit different because they are not necessarily touching each other. But yeah, for the sake of this abstract mockup, everything else will be touching. So if it's touching the background, it's if it's touching then in this mockup, then it's touching in the quilt. It's also to scale, so the amount of background fabric you see in the abstract mockup is kind of close to how much background fabric you would actually see in the quilt. So yeah, I don't. Olivia, do you want to expand? I feel like you're better at
Um, I she said that the accent colors are the exception to that. So just for the sake of being able to say that the accent colors touch color C or fabric C,
they do touch colors. Yeah.
but like trying to avoid the fact that this may get very chaotic very fast if we try to make it super, super accurate. They all touch
Yeah.
in this mock-up, but accent fabrics will not touch each other. So just
Yes.
seeing them next to each other is just allowing you to see your full palette together
Yeah.
and how it plays with each other. Accent colors in the final quilt will not touch. So I wouldn't worry too much about like, is this yellow too close to this green, or is this brown like a
Yeah,
different shade close enough to this tan? And as long as you like those 8 colors, like kind of as a whole, then you should be fine.
yeah,
And then I
yeah.
would say for sure background, which is A, and B, I would say need to have the most contrast. I've seen some, I mean,
Unless you
unless you
like
like
low
low
contrast.
contrast,
Yeah.
yes. But I've seen some where like the background is white and then B is like off white. You're gonna lose that. And I think that's probably the most important is you want to have contrast between A, B, and D in my head.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
choose your colors accordingly. Though usually when I get mock-ups like this, or if I'm going and finding a quilt pattern from a designer that I just, oh, I like that quilt pattern, I want to make it. I try to follow the tones that they've used in the cover and say like, well, in the cover they have A and it's super light, and so I don't really like blue, but I like pink, so I'm going to make that a light pink instead, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah. And you can like reverse them too. So if you want a dark background, you could do dark background and then BB lighter. Um, and because like these are kind of the extremes, like B is obviously the darkest color here, A is the lightest color, you could do a medium for B. And I think that would be totally fine. It doesn't need to be like such high contrast. You just need to be, there needs to be some contrast, I would say. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then yeah, for the accent colors, like it doesn't matter if these two blues are or like these two are like the same, very similar in colors, like that's totally okay. These can all be shifted around. It doesn't matter the order that you put these in your mock-ups as long as you like the color palette as a whole. So
I
okay,
have one
and
more note on that.
so oh, okay, go. Oh,
Um, just the relationship between D and C in this mock-up. They are in the same kind of color family, and that was intentional. They touch the whole time in the quilt. And so if you don't like those two colors together, you should definitely make sure you like that
yes.
next to all of the other colors.
Yeah, that's a good note for sure. D and C are touching and yeah, and I think they do look really good in the same color family or even like a gradient version of each other. Like if C or and then this was like just I don't know, like you'll see a
A
lot of mock-ups where
peachy
like
orange.
yeah, like this where this will be like a medium blue and then this will be like a slight like that same color blue but like slightly lighter. I think that looks really good. So if you're not sure, pick one color that you like and then do kind of a variation of that same color.
Before we move on, because I think it's already been asked in Discord, so I just want to give it space here. If someone were to have a pop of color type of fabric, where do you think that it should live in your quilt pattern?
On that. Oh yeah, actually.
Um, a single pop of color.
Mm-hmm.
I think it really depends on the other shades of your quilt, but I guess I would say B.
Alrighty.
What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
I think there have been a couple mock-ups where people have chosen their colors, and there seems to be one that kind of like stands out more than the others, like a neon yellow or hot pink or something like that, compared to all the other fabrics that they have. So it's good to know that if they wanted it to be a pop of color, then it would live in B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I think B, C or D.
Yeah,
Like it's not
I was
really
going to say
helpful.
that.
But I
Keeping
was
in
like,
mind the previous note of those two relationships. So if your pop of color has a muted friend, those would go
yeah.
great together.
Yeah, like
Or
yeah.
yeah,
If you want this to be like a bright neon pink, then maybe this is like a darker, deeper, like more muted red or something like that would be like a good time to do a pop of color. But if you, I mean, I think doing a pop of color for B would be a lot more prominent in the quilt. So it depends on what you consider a pop of color. Like if you want a pop to be that pop of color to be like extremely prominent in the quilt and then everything else be a lot more muted, then B would be a good choice for that. But D and C would be like a little bit less prominent, I would say. I had to pull up the actual
Pop of
mock-ups.
color versus boom of color.
Yes. Yeah, I would say that. Okay. Um, so we have a print version. Again, we say the same thing every single so long. If you don't care about the directions of your print, then you can do whatever prints you want. We don't write the pattern for directions in mind. So keep that in mind. I do think the best, if you're going to do prints, I feel like the accent colors are the best place for prints. But Ashlyn, if you have anything to add to that.
No, that was going to be my recommendation too. I think if you choose directional prints, it's pretty easy to create that aspect in a way that you can keep it all directional. The other ones would maybe require additional fabric requirements.
Yeah. And again, we're not going to
We
tell
will
you
not.
how to do that. Tried that, failed, never doing that again. Okay. Yeah, so more on directional prints. Okay, examples.
This is an
Yeah,
example of a dark background, which is different than the cover quilt, which has the light blue background in the A spot. Um, these are all made by me, not Taylor, so take
yeah, I
that
was
with
like,
a
you want
grain
to
of
talk about
salt.
these?
But I was playing around with just an ink dropper rather than like actual fabrics for some of these. Just trying to get a vibe of what could work. And so I've seen all of these. They all look great. None of the fabrics end up getting lost, even though it may look like oh, that C part is kind of dark compared to the background. Like they kind of look the same. I think it ends up looking okay
Yeah.
if you end up doing that. And again, just like I said before, if you find any of these mock-ups and say like, ooh, I kind of like that, but I don't really like pinks, then you could always like shift the color palette and just keep the tones the same. So this to
Yeah,
me is like a green, pink, and purple palette in my head.
yeah. Also, I would like to add that I don't think we've talked about is that there's kind of a wide range of values for these accent colors. So we got some darker moments and then some like super light ones. These, I feel like these oh my God, I can't talk today. These low contrast moments are really great to kind of have some I don't know, it creates a lot of eye movement because your eyes are moving around to find those lighter pieces, and then the darker contrast is like a good eye resting moment. So don't worry too much if these accents are, some of them are a little closer to your background. Um, and just having a variety, maybe since there's eight, you can do a couple light, a couple medium, some darker. So yeah, just having a variety.
Have you guys talked about like color palettes on Pinterest before?
Um, not no, I don't think so.
I feel like this would be a really good one if you are searching for color combinations or color palettes on Pinterest and you pull up like one that you love with a lot of different colors. It's sometimes hard to get those to all fit into a quilt. If you find one with a bunch of colors you love, this is the quilt to do that with
Yeah.
because of the amount of colors and their relationship to one another doesn't necessarily impact the other one.
I don't know if we have an example of the accent colors being one color. Do we have that in this?
No, I was just thinking that, and I'm about to add one in real quick.
Okay. Well, we haven't, you can tell we've been working together for a long time. Okay. This is, I think, Susie Quilt's, I'm just going off of, I'm assuming Susie Quilt's salads line. Um, yeah, I mean, you like all of her colors in the palette, it looks great.
Yeah, her palette works really well with each other. So if you were
Yeah.
to, if you wanted all solids, but you don't really know how to put the solid colors together, and you don't really have like a favorite, like I'm a pink and green girl, then you could just go to her solids line and just pick any of them and put them
Yeah.
in, and they all look great together.
Yeah. I don't know how she did it. Wizard. Oh, this is like a nice like sunset palette, but this is like a good example of like some of these are pretty similar to each other. Um, and again, like we're gonna show you that all these accent tones could be technically the same color fabric. And so therefore it's okay that these are all pretty similar or some of them are similar. Hold on a second. Okay. Here's another one. This is like kind of a beachy one too. I like these blues. But yeah, this is kind of a good example of like a medium background, and then the pop of the lighter color is one of these B, or this is C, I guess. Yeah, but there is like a strong contrast between B and A. Okay.
And then this one, I mentioned it and someone made a mock-up that felt kind of similar to this one, but I just wanted to reiterate that I don't know what it is about color science. Taylor may know, but there's something about really bright, saturated colors on a navy background that makes it look so good.
Yeah.
So, if you're trying to figure out a background color and you have all of your accents chosen, consider putting it against the navy, like, and then playing with like the warmth or the coolness of that navy. But it could end up being really, really good.
Um, yeah, and there's a couple that I did a part of the build your palette, which did I add this to the week one chat?
I think you shared
No.
the ones in the cheater club.
Oh yeah. Can you okay, there's one that has like two mediums as a background that it's like a more fun, bright background. It's really fun. Okay, yeah. So here is the example of the accent colors being this is a kit from Wildwood Creative. So this is just all the accent tones are combined into one. So that is totally an option if you're feeling overwhelmed with the sheer amount of colors, then you can combine them. And this
I
looks
don't
really
know
good too.
which one you are
I think the
referring to.
green one, green background. Oh wait, you might have added it in here. Oh, the backpacking one's in here.
Yeah, I'm just kind of
Oh, it
adding
was
stuff right now.
okay.
I have a
Yeah, this is a good
question.
gentle reminder. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. So looking at that other option, the kit that was made, I mean, that was
Yeah.
really pretty. Like, so is that like how prominent then are all the accent colors together? Are they playing a big portion? Like, what is the like, I don't know. Because that's
Roughly.
really pretty too. Like, I mean, how much are they playing a role? Would it
Well,
be?
this is going to be like this blue is going to be pretty prominent in the pattern. This would be like a significant amount of the quilt.
I shared something, I think it was in week
Oh,
one,
this.
but someone asked a question that was like how I like mock-ups with the 8 different E through L all being different. And I also like mock-ups where they're all kind of matching and they look like the starry one. How do I choose between the two? Like, how would I decide personally which one I should make? And to me, I see it as are you a person that likes lots of color, or are you a person that likes a limited palette? And I shared like two different room decors, and it was like one still had very much color, but it was like controlled. One green couch and the room was white and like a orange lamp. And then the other one was like burst of color, walls are pink, like couch is orange, all of that. And I think that would be the determining factor for me because the if you're going to go different E through L, the only important thing is making sure that those colors look good in a palette together. If you are going to go where all of them match, then just know all of them matching means that that color is going to shine so brightly in the quilt. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, they both look so pretty.
Yes, here's the pictures. I will share them in chat. Thank you.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
difference
this is kind of
between the
like
two
another.
rooms.
I'm obsessed with this mock-up though. Um, yeah. Okay, this is one I was talking about where it's like a fun, like a bright, fun background. Um, which I feel like I never do really bright, fun backgrounds, and this was like a really fun challenge. But yeah, the background and B are actually pretty similar, but they look really, really good. So they don't have to be extreme contrast, I would say. But they are different colors. So I would say like if that was like a white and an off-white, that would be more of an issue than them being similar contrast. Okay. Olivia, how did you want to do this?
Usually we go through the week one thread and
Okay.
look at the things that have been shared. And if anyone has any that they want to share last minute, you can either add it to the chat here in Zoom or you can add it to the week one chat. If you're needing advice or like just want a verification that your mockup looks good, doesn't matter. We're willing to look at it and help or make comments on it at this time.
Okay. Gonna try to go quickly. Some of these will be hard for me to know what exactly is like A, B, and C here, I'm imagining. So if you want to talk about it, um,
I do appreciate when you all share photos of your fabrics, like your actual fabrics, and you have it laid out exactly
I
like
know, like,
the abstract
what's it
mock-up.
like?
It makes it so easy to visualize.
Like, okay, cool. I'm assuming this is D. Yeah, I think this is gonna look good. Oh, we got teal or gray. You know what? I feel like I'm gonna vote gray because otherwise this gray would feel more out of place. Whereas
Mm.
this light gray really kind of balances off this darker gray, in my opinion. So I'd vote gray. I'll cast my vote. Oh, we have 7 people saying left, so I'm gonna go against the norm. I'm gonna say right.
I like right as
Sorry.
well if it matters.
What?
I like right as well if it matters.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta go vote.
But also,
Team right. I think both will look great though. If you've already decided, then I'm sorry.
the teal is really fun.
Yes. Yeah. And they're all speckled, so I mean, I feel like all speckled colors similar to Susie, like they all work well together. I am obsessed with this one. There's, I feel like I've really grown
Like
into
very low
loving
contrast.
low contrast. Like I think it's like my thing. I like low contrast. Not in my like, I don't know. And all these colors, it feels like a muted 90s Patagonia vibes. I like him. Okay, no notes on that. Okay, right off bat, I'm going to vote. I like two. Feels more cohesive with these three colors.
And it also matches um the thing that Ashlyn was talking about earlier, where the
Yes.
relationship between those two fabrics playing together in the quilt. The what A C D and C. I have to like go through it in my head.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
those I feel like follow that formula of being like same color family, just dark and light.
Yeah, like I don't think the color palette in general feels Christmassy, but I think these two colors next to each other would feel Christmassy because they would be touching the whole time. If that makes sense. So I think this, yeah. Um, okay, here's another one. Mm.
That's like slight Christmas.
Oh yeah, I guess we
Pinky.
didn't. I'm already like missing some. Okay, yeah, I this was in the slightly varied version of what was in the presentation, the backpack version. Um, she sent me her backpacking attire. It helps the palette. Um, okay, I was like, what's the difference between this? I feel like this is like a cool like art piece, like prints or something. I could just see these like, next to each
One on
other
the
on the wall.
left looks like an eyeball to me, just like the
Oh,
abstract
true. But
mock-up.
it will
It
not
looks
look
like an
like an
eyeball.
eyeball
It,
in it will not look like an eyeball in the pattern.
I just looked over at it and it just looks like an eyeball staring at me.
I'm gonna vote. Wait, I don't know if people are accepting votes right now, but I like fun. Okay. That's pretty. Ooh, that's pretty. Also pretty. Bewitch, bewitch, bewitch. Sounds very bewitched.
Um, I also explained it in Discord, but just so it has a space to live here. For someone that wants to do where E and L are combined, there it's not going to be in the fabric requirements written out specifically like that. It's not going to be in the cutting instructions written out like that. But if you're doing E through L where they're all the same fabric, you would just do what you're doing for E and just repeat it 8 times in the same fabric.
Yeah.
And because E through L each need a quarter yard, then total you would need technically 2 yards. You can get away with it being like 1.75.
Okay. Emma's, I threw this in and mocked it up and it looked really good, so no notes. I don't know.
I do like that bright green in that palette.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I don't know, Ashlyn, if you've seen the mock-ups with the stripes I see, but it looks amazing. So if
That's
you guys
really
ever
cool,
been wanting
guys.
to use stripy fabric
That's a
and
good
you
place to
guys
put it.
have, yeah, C is a really good place to add some stripy fabric. And this, I think I voted. Oh, a lot of people said one too. Okay, I think I voted one. If you're like, this is kind of what we were talking about, where you can go super low contrast or like almost the same color but slightly different. This is a great example of it. They just did half and half. Um, so yeah, I love the stripe though. Okay.
It's a very earthy palette.
Yes, very earthy.
Those prints or are they solids? It's so
It
small
looks
on
like
the
a
screen.
grunge almost.
Ooh.
Stephanie, do you know what you, okay, so do
That's
you
an
have
aged
fabric?
Muslim fabric,
Okay.
and yeah, so it's kind of got some variation. It's not just flat solid. Um,
Mm.
I started with just trying to find the 8 accent pieces in my stash
Hmm.
for bundles. So that was one way I could go. And then once I
I
started
feel like,
trying to mock it up, I had trouble with A, B, C, and D.
yeah, I feel like you could almost go for like a very like sandy, neutral tannish color because it just feels like everything's so natural that like a super light background might be very stark with
Oh
it.
yeah.
Like a tan background and then going with like yeah, like a really dark, almost navy color as B. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Ashlyn, if you have any?
Even like a taupe
Yeah,
specifically, um, and mauve would also look good with
yeah,
the
I
color palette.
agree.
If that's something you like, I think that's what I would personally gravitate towards.
Yeah,
Okay.
And I like that navy idea as well.
yeah, navy, mauve,
Yeah, I like
taupe,
the navy. I never think of navy.
tan.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would look. I think like honestly, either a navy background with a mauve as B would be really. I think that would be really nice. It would make all these colors like pop.
There's a
Yeah.
chance that it blends in with that blue. So just make sure
Yeah,
there's,
I think
as a background, just
it
make
would need
sure
to be
there's enough
darker than
variation.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that I have two options because I just like I said,
Okay. Well, they're
well,
very different options.
they're very different. It's what's in the stash, right? That has
No, we love that.
eight somewhat related fat quarter.
Yes. Okay. Wait, are these the same? Because this one.
I tried to match the colors as best I could,
Okay.
you know. So starting with fabric and then trying to build the other pieces.
Okay. Yeah, because this looks way more like I don't see this orange color in here.
Well,
Um.
I think that may just be the accents on the right.
Yes,
Oh.
that's an accent, right? Those are
Oh. Okay.
that's
Okay.
just E through L,
I
right?
was
So
like,
I start with E through L and then try
got
to
it.
build
Got it.
from there.
Yeah. I mean, I think I like this one a lot. It really just depends on what vibe you're going for. Whether
I
you
think I'm
want
more
bright.
in the mood for the first option that I gave because the last one we did, mine was very muted as well.
Okay.
So I kind of feeling a little brighter.
Yeah. Okay, we have a question. C,
Mm,
we want to incorporate shapes with chunkier stripe. Half inch isn't
hang on,
that.
hang on. Let me look. Let me bring up the pattern.
I think it would be fine.
That is, I think C.
I think it would work.
Mm,
Are you thinking, do you guys think B
I
would
think it
look
would work.
okay as a stripe?
That might be like
If
really.
you like stripes,
Yeah, you gotta really like stripes.
yeah,
I think
it wouldn't
C
look
would.
bad. It is a good
No,
place
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
put them, and you would have a lot of interesting stripe patterns final in the quilt
I would
in
just
that
suggest
position.
going more subtle prints for if you're gonna do prints elsewhere or
Mhm.
solids. Like that, that's gonna be your like statement piece.
Yeah. If you think
The
like a Tula Pink moment.
Yeah.
for the half-inch stripes, the way that you're going to end up cutting fabric C, I feel like you would get enough stripes in those pieces for
Yeah.
it not to look like a bad thing if you
Yeah.
want to go that big.
Yeah, I think if it was more, I think if it was like inch long, then that would be maybe my cutoff, inch long stripes. But half inch, I think. Okay, yeah, here's kind of another example. This is gonna be, did we mock
Oh
this
yeah,
up? This is,
that Fabulism one will look fine as the stripe.
oh yes, actually I think that would look really cool.
Yeah. I think we're all imagining a black and white stripe.
Yeah, I was imagining like yeah, like that's a subtle enough stripe where you could put that anywhere and that like that was but it would look very good for C. Um yeah. Well, all right, I gotta keep moving. Oh my God, Barbie moment. Obsessed.
I do love the
Yeah,
split between the top half and the bottom half of the E through L being two different fabrics.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I think this one's gonna look really good too. I mean, whenever you're working with like the same line or same designer, you usually can't really go wrong because they like obviously curate that bundle or collection to all work together. So, um, yeah,
I do like that the prints that are chosen in that one are also smaller scale,
yeah.
rather than them being, I mean, the background's technically a larger scale, it looks like potentially.
Spider
It may just be the
webs.
way that it's stretching it, but just so that way you're not like cutting the heads off giraffes like
Is
I
this
did last
blood
time.
spatter?
It looks like it. It looks like it's a forensic
Is it Juicy
line.
Juice?
Oh, yeah, it looks
Ooh,
like juicy juice.
they,
I think I
A
just looked it up.
forensic line. Oh,
It is
that's
kind
fun.
of, it's like murdery.
Oh
mhm.
my gosh. I gotta take notes of this. Maybe I'll make a um forensic themed quilt for my husband's office. It'd be funny. He works in forensic. I feel like that's a loose way to say that what he
Ooh,
does, but
lines on a bullet. Man, that's so creative to
Taylor, zoom in.
have a ooh,
where?
This will be a really good Halloween quilt.
yes.
That's a, it's a really, yeah, I
And
like
you
that.
know, when I read this, I read Halloween quilt and I didn't click what I was looking at because it doesn't read Halloween. It doesn't look Halloween, but
Yeah.
it is.
Yep.
Yeah, when you get up close and see splatters of blood and bullets and
Yeah,
spider
I
webs.
gotta show this to my husband's work. It's
It's
awesome.
murder chic.
Yeah,
It
murder
is.
chic. Okay, I like this. I don't, are you using solids or is this just a, I kind of, maybe I should just read. Mm, B and C. Got it, got it, got it. Yeah, I think this is gonna look good. I really like this background. I like that line.
See, everyone is used. It is. We have the pickle support group for a reason. Everyone throws in this like
We all love
neon
pickle.
green in their mock-ups. It exists everywhere.
I know, I've been using it too. I really like this. I think this is gonna look really good.
I can also say that I feel honored that you're using your Carolyn Friedlander fabric for this. It's gonna look good. I know how
You're
I don't
such
know
a
if it
good
strong.
was
fabric.
you. I don't know if it was you or not, but someone was like, "This year I'm using my good fabric," and I love that because I have like OG Starry half yard bundle that I don't know if I'll ever use it.
Yeah, it feels wrong.
It feels wrong. I'm like, I don't know what's going to be worthy enough for me to use this OG Starry, but it's stupid. I should just use it. Um, yeah. So like when I'm looking, like I'm not really thinking about necessarily how this is going to look like accurately. I'm like, all these colors look good together as a color scheme. There's some value difference between A, B, like all of these. Like I'm kind of just like, this is a good color scheme. I don't really have any like there's no outliers in the color scheme that I feel like don't work. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's kind of how I'm that I think.
Teddy and the Bears, with it being such a graphic fabric collection, I feel like
Which
works so
one?
well with E through L. Someone in the chat just said that they're leaning towards Teddy and the Bears, and
Mm,
with how large her prints are in her fabric collection, I feel like E through L is a good place to put them, and then like put
yes.
some like blenders with it in the B, C, and D area.
Yeah, it's always like a good if you want the accent colors to be your fun prints and then do solids and blenders for everything else. That's like a great, I feel like, way to pick your fabric. So, okay, I'm gonna try to move quicker because, you guys have been really, really active this week. I love it. It's great. So there's so many. This is also like Patagon 90s Patagonia, and I love that. Or was this based off of? Stranger Things.
Stranger Things is a black background with a red bee. I don't know where that
There's,
pull is.
I will also say that there hasn't really been a mock-up that I feel like doesn't look good. At almost every single like option that people have sent, I've put it in and it's looked
Yeah, that one.
completely like good. This one,
Yeah. It's got a black background and red
oh,
for
that's
E
really fun.
or for B.
Yeah, I think okay, I will say that if you choose red for B, red's going to be very prominent. I said this in someone else's where I think it was Vicky, and I was totally reading her. She was right. I was wrong. Um, oh, this one. I thought her B was the red. I was mixing up on my end because I was
Mhm.
like, oh, well, red's going to be super prominent, so I hope you like red, but it's not the case. So I think this is gonna look great. That was my only thing. I'm like, red sometimes is like a very overpowering color. So it's just if you choose red for B or A, just make sure that you that's kind of like the statement, you know.
Yeah, that starry one that you were just showing to me, I look at that as a black and white with color splatter
Yeah.
quilt, is how I see that. It's
Okay,
gonna look
does anyone specific oh my God, this is so cute.
good.
No notes. Love it. That's gonna look really good. Okay. Anyone specific need help? Because if not, I will go in the chat and help if you want to bring it to my attention. This is cute. This reminds me of I did like a toad spell a really long time ago
It's a
in
winter
July.
berry
I like
palette.
this color. Yeah. It reminds me of one of Pantone Color of the Year. I forget what color it was, but I did a palette based off of oh my God, something like that. Okay. Anyways, I gotta move on. Gotta move on. All right. Final number remaining. I know it's late for the East Coast folks over here. Okay. If after all of this you don't feel confident and you're still unsure of your fabrics and you want to go with a quilt kit, there are a ton of quilt kits available. If you go to your member area and then there will be a link that says quilt kits. Um, so there's some from Full Moon and then Wildwood has a few, and then they also do mystery quill kits, which no one's ever been disappointed in a Wildwood mystery kit. So if you want the whole thing to be mystery, if you want the pattern to be a mystery, if you want the fabric to be a mystery, all of it, then it's a really fun, freeing way to go about this. So highly recommend that. And if that's not fully your vibe, then you can do a custom kit with both Full Moon and Wildwood Creative and offer some inspo or whatever vibe you're looking for, and they will help create a custom kit for you. So there's that. That's it. Any more questions? I know this is the only week that's like very me talking heavy. Um, in the future Zoom calls, it's much more hanging out and just chatting and just like, sewing, reading, talking about reading, talking about trash TV, all of the things. This is the one week that is like me just yapping your ear off the whole time. So
I have a
I hope you
question.
guys, yeah.
So the theme, the record player on the
Mhm.
theme, is that a clue at all on the mystery?
Not really.
There are
I kind
no
of just
curves
there are no
in
curves.
this quilt.
No curves. Okay.
I
In
kind of
case
just
anyone
yeah.
thought that.
When I pick themes, I kind of go with the vibe of the guest designer, the overall vibe of the quilt. Honestly, whatever just like is my first reaction to the like I don't know, I just feel like the theme of music fit with the city side street theme. And then also like, I don't know, it's just like kind of cool. And Ashland is just really kind of cool. So that's kind of so yeah, I kind of just go because obviously I can't give away the quilt, so I have to get creative with it, but it's not necessarily yeah. Does that help?
Yeah, thanks.
I thought it was kind of a clue, to be honest. And I'll tell you why without giving it away.
Okay. Okay, cool.
There's just a part of the quilt that feels like, I don't know, like 50s dinery. And I
Mm.
thought like record jukeboxy. It's like not a very direct hint.
I mean, maybe that is like what I like
You were
pulled from,
supporting
like that.
me deciding these things.
Yeah, it's always because like sometimes I could have gone like super urban with it and just like picked like city and stuff, but I felt like that was too on the nose with sight. So, you know,
Yeah.
I kind of see C and D in their
yeah,
orientation also kind of being part of the theme as well.
yeah, I also think that. And it also depends on your colors because I feel like it could really go into that. Yeah.
Though I've seen some people are using their favorite album, music album,
Yes.
as inspiration for the fabrics that they choose for this, and I think that's really cool idea.
Yeah, so you could make it part of the quilt if you want
Mhm.
by picking your favorite album. Um, I mean, the books, you could, once we have the winner of the book, I love when people make the quilt based off of the book cover. That's like just super fun. So
Mhm.
whatever book wins, I think some, I feel like there is a clear winner, but it was very close last time I looked. It was like tied between three.
Oh, I haven't looked at all.
Yeah,
Though
I
I
did
think the
look.
people we keep would be a really cool color
All of
inspiration,
them.
and the future saint with
Yeah,
the like blue, pink, yellow
yeah, these would be
thing.
really fun. So, I mean, even this one. I think Daisy Jones and the Six would be the one that's like, maybe not, but
It's
um
based in the 70s, right?
oh
Just
yeah,
go
so
full
you could go
70s
like
color
full
palette.
70s. Yeah, you could. That would be cool. Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I have not decided on my color palette yet. But I'm trying to do, I think, a either some shade of light purple or bright kind of gold, and maybe be a black. If I were to go that route, would I know that you guys said it would A, B, and D would need to contrast. So would it need to contrast the brighter yellow purple or the black is my question.
Okay, so you want gold, purple, and what was the other color?
Either gold or purple for A
Okay.
and B at for black.
Okay.
I think it would look cool if A is like a lilac, B's black, and then you have two golds, like a dark and a light or something, in the C and D spot.
Yeah, and I think like these two colors would look good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like yeah, like a I would go more of a I wouldn't go gold like college team gold. I would go like I don't know, like more of like a muted, I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like not like a bright gold. I would
Or
go kind of
Not
like
bronzy.
like a
a
yellow gold.
more bronzy, yeah. Yeah. Not a yellow gold, more of either like an orangey gold or like a or even yeah, I guess red gold would be.
Okay.
Because
Perfect.
yeah, because purple and yellow are complementary colors, so you just want to play with the tone on that because they're complementary, they can like sometimes read as like school colors. So, but if you play with like the muted tones or like kind of veering more towards like the orangey scale and less like the bright yellow, that'll help offset that feel. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you do make a mock-up, put it in the week one, and we can yeah, give
Okay,
you
will
feedback
do.
as well.
Will do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
cool. Alrighty, guys. Well, this was really fun, and gonna wrap up. I got frozen pizza to make. I think you actually heard the fire alarms that went off earlier, so I think that was my frozen pizza being made. So yeah, everyone have a good night. I'm excited to see what book wins too. Really excited.
I'm gonna have to go look at the voting to see what it looks like. I haven't looked
Yeah,
at it yet.
it's close. Close. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mm.